Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Rama Rama Shri Radhe Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai Shri Shri Phalat Lakshmi Singhadev Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So, Hare Krishna. It's a great honor for me because usually once I didn't have time for a while and then I was stopped to ask to give Bhagavad Gita class because everybody assumed that I don't have time. And I think it's mostly also true, but today by some unlucky circumstances that Chinmay Prabhu somehow cannot give or don't want to give or whatever class, Subal Prabhu asked me if I can speak about the Bhagavad Gita, and this is I'm very happy about that, although there are much more qualified people like me to speak about this book, but this book is with me already for quite some years now. And all transcendental literature, it works in different dimensions. So each time, Hare Krishna, Rosie, each time we connect to transcendental literature, because it works on different levels in time. It's not a story what we read and then we know it. It works that it goes in different layers. So each time we connect with that literature, it tells us a slightly different story because it reflects us where we are in the moment. Like if you look in a mirror, it doesn't show you the same picture like it showed you yesterday, right? Your beard grow more, your ears become longer, or I don't know, like especially ladies like our Rosie, sometimes she put lipstick. Oh, no, okay, of course not. Yeah, you're not old.
Yeah, but I never.
Anyway, yeah, but you get the point, right? And so same when we look at the Bhagavad Gita, it reflects us where we are in the moment, and therefore it tells us different stories. And this story is actually every day relevant to us. So therefore, it's very good if you read this literature every day and discuss it or read it together in the association of devotees, because the association of devotees, they work as a catalysator. That means sometimes devotees, they bring you in circumstances where you sometimes think, how can I end up here? Why this happened to me, right? And in this way, they are living Bhagavad Gitas themselves, and also like open classes, like the Srimad-Bhagavatam class in the morning, and also the Bhagavad Gita class in the evening. It's a community event. Like normal people, they're going to a party, and it's an event, right? They're looking forward to Friday night or Saturday night because they all together join in a club or in a circle or whatever to have some experience together, and they're meeting the next day, and they share because they were all on the same vibe, having a similar experience. Now, as a community of spiritualists, we coming together in a party of sharing Krishna. And this brings us in a particular state where we actually should come together, as I know you many times do. Like in the morning, I'm sure you spoke about the class, the Bhagavatam class for breakfast. It's very good, because then you reflect again. What did we hear? What did we, it's much more different. You're listening to a class in the internet, right? On YouTube or wherever. And then automatically it goes to the next class and the next class. The algorithm, they bring you different topics. And then it's kind of, it brushes over your consciousness. And you hear, and it's good that you hear, but at the same time you forget, because only goes in your small-term brain. But if you come later on, you come together like for breakfast and speak again about it. What did we hear in class? Then you put it from your working brain, it goes, you have to process it. And it goes much easier in your memory, where it stays there, especially when you keep it, right? When you have a computer and put things in the bin, more and more stuff you put, the stuff in the bottom goes out. But if you sometimes go back to the bin and look again at this file, what you pinned away because you didn't want to have it anymore, and then you open it up again and look, maybe it was not so bad, then it again goes on top, right? So same when you, the things what we contemplate upon, this much more easier stays with us. So therefore, it's a very great opportunity in the association of a community, a spiritual community, to discuss such topics, because it shows us also where we are together. A community, in one sense, becomes like a personality. There's like they say the devotees in Simhachalam. And with that, they're meaning all of us. And we say that community in Golokadam, the mood in Golokadam is like this and that. And there we meet all the devotees, but actually we see them as one body, more or less. Right? They're serving Radha Madan Mohan, and in Simhachalam they're serving Prahlad Lakshmi Nrsingadev. And so we, as a community, building a body in ourselves. And each and every one of us adds to the consciousness of that body, right? And if we are strong, a strong spiritual community, then we much more successful in our Krishna consciousness together, practicing it, and also more attractive to people from outside to join in, whatever they are, from whatever background they come, but they feel the vibe as a community. There is spirit. There's spirit, what we're lacking, what we want. Now, we are here in the 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, and for me, this was always one of the nicest chapter. Why? Because it's so practical. I found the 3rd chapter very practical, because Krishna gives clear hints to Arjuna actually what really can be done. And I think it's very applicable in life in general. So we are in text 32. I think our Maitreya Rishi Prabhu wrote it down. Okay. Yedo edat abhyasa suyanto yedvetat abhyasu yanto nanushtanti me matam nanutishtanti me matam sarvakyana vimudam stam Savakyana vimudam stam Vidi nashtan acheshtasaha Vidi nashtam acheshtasaha. Please, you try. Rosie. Kishore, magst du nochmal? Oder? Yeto etat abhyasanto anushtistanti me matam vakyana vimutam stam vidinastam acheshtaraha. Okay. Ye, those two, however, etat, this, abhyasuyanda, out of envy, na, do not, Anutishtandi, regularly perform, me, my, matam, injunction, savakyana, in all sort of knowledge, vimutan, perfectly befooled, tan, they are, vidhi, know it well, nastan, all ruined, acheshtasaha, without Krishna consciousness. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. But those who, out of envy, disregard these teachings and do not follow them, regularly are to be considered bereft of all knowledge, befooled and ruined in their endeavors for perfection. Purport. The flaw of not being Krishna consciousness clearly stated herein. As there is punishment for disobedience to the order of the Supreme Executive Head, so there is certainly punishment for disobedience to the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A disobedient person, however great he may be, is ignorant of his own self and of the Supreme Brahman, Paramatma, and the Personality of Godhead, due to a vacant heart. Therefore, there is no hope of perfection of life for him. Om Agnanati Mandasya Knanan Chanashalakya Chakshu Unmidam Yena Tasmai Shigrave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stabidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagadamayam Dadati Swaparandikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So by the mercy and blessing of Shri Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Singadev, speaking in his temple, becoming a tool, a fool becomes a tool, and by the blessings of His Divine Grace and your blessings and good wishes to hear, we try to explore this a little bit. And as we said before, okay, we read the translation again. But those who out of envy disregard these teachings and do not follow them regularly are to be considered bereft of all knowledge, befooled and ruined in their endeavors for perfection. So, about what knowledge Krishna speaks here? What do you remember from the third chapter? Or teachings, what kind of teachings does he give in the third chapter?
To concentrate the mind upon him, and then one can reach him. This is maybe one of the last verses we had.
Yeah, but he gives a whole, he gives a whole layout how to do that. Especially when we look at the name of the chapter. Somebody remember the name of the chapter? Karma Yoga. So what could be the essence, what Krishna speak about here? Pure. Activity, yes. Activity. So what is the main point Krishna tried to stress here to Arjuna? Okay, when we say yagya, because that's a very, it's a word in how to say, amongst devotees, everybody with yagya has a different view. Me for sure. So okay, what do you think when you think of yagya?
Yeah, it is done for the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is done to please the Lord. It's not
Yes.
done for me. It's not fruiting.
Yes.
That is the difference.
Yes. Very good, because even in the yajna we chant, we make oblations together with a mantra, and then we say, idam Krishnaya, or idam Narasimhaya, idam Namama. That's for Nrsingadev, not for me. Bjorn, what you wanted to say?
Endeavor that is not for me but for the Lord, so some sacrifice of energy.
Yeah. So, Max, Hendrik, Max, no?
Ja, mir ist dazu nur eingefallen, unter den, das ist nicht unter Chakra, Nam Yagya, Mahayagya. Also das Yagya, das.
Yeah. So Krishna speaks of activities. Why he speaks of activities? Because our device, what we are, our body, is made out of senses. And from all the senses, Krishna explains which one is the topmost sense. The mind. And so this senses what we do with them. We engage them. Why do we have to engage them? Why we don't have a choice? Huh? The senses engage us. Okay, beyond what? They want to be, but why they are active? Why they engaging us? What's their purpose? What do they want? Huh? You get number one and you can go. You already passed. You can go to the spiritual world. Rosemary, say some prayers for me that I can come also. Yeah, but why they are forcing us? What's the purpose of the senses? It's very simple. To be active, yeah, but why they want to be active? They want to connect with the objects. That's they're designed like that. Is, that's what they have to do. You can't hold them back from connecting with the sense objects, because this fit together, senses and sense objects. That has to be. Therefore, that's the material world. There's nothing else in the material world than sense objects and suitable senses who can easily connect with them. And this is what they always try to do. And therefore, we have a body, what is basically a big sense, a sensual body. Right? This would be a advertisement slogan, or a sensual body. Right? So this is basically in advertisement. This is what really works, because they really see what connects to the senses, what inspired the senses. And if they're not inspired, they give you something what inspires them. Yeah. And so therefore, it's very crucial to understand this. Now, a yogi, what is the difference between a yogi and a bogey? What is a bogey?
A bogey tries to enjoy. A boga is like sense enjoyment.
Yes.
And a yogi tries to practice refrainment of sense enjoyment,
Well, yeah, that's a little bit Arjuna's idea, what he tried to bring forward, right? Okay, so I don't use then my senses. If it's so difficult, then I don't use them. Krishna, let me become a renunciant. Easy, job done. But what Krishna tries to tell Arjuna? Huh? Why?
because it's just a very irrational idea to go to the forest now after all that happened.
Yeah, but why would it? I mean, it sounds good to me. I mean, become like a renunciant, sannyasi, go in the forest, just chant Hare Krishna.
Yeah, the question is when. And this
And why not? Yeah?
It's not practical, it's on the middle of the battlefield.
Sorry, it's not practical?
He is on the middle of the battlefield, so it's not practical to do the forest now.
Well, it would be quite a statement, and this is what he says. He says, "I just go. I just go. You know, I'm leaving this because I find it unfair to fight with people like Drona and Bhishma. You know, they are my family. Why I should fight with them?" And Krishna says, "Well, they are aggressors. They want to have the fight." And Arjuna says, "Well, if they are aggressors, why should I then fight? Is it not better if I'm showing intelligence to say, I don't want to fight, I don't want to be engaged in this ghastly war?" Right? But then Krishna says, "Well, if you leave the battlefield, what would they think? Would they say, 'Wow, Arjuna, you're so great. Out of compassion for your family, you left the battlefield and renounced your duty'?"
No, they would think of him as someone who has
A coward, yeah. They would say, look at him, the great Arjuna. Who was Arjuna's greatest opponent? Karna, yes. Karna. Karna, from the day when Karna stepped in the assembly, you know, Dronacharya made in a big arena, he showed off, basically he wanted to show off all his students, the Pandavas and the Kauravas. They all fight. Duryodhana and Bhima fight with the mace, with the club, and you know, everybody, and the people, the citizens, they were amazed. You know, then Arjuna came and shoot arrows where fire came, and then he shoot arrows what made rain, what distinguished the fire, and he could do so many things, and people were amazed. And everybody said, Arjuna is the greatest archer. And everybody applauded him. And then suddenly from a side door, there came a very shining personality. Nobody knew him. I said, "Who are you?" And said, "I'm the son of Radha, the charioteer. He's my stepfather. My name is Karna. And I am the greatest archer." Because he was the son of Surya, the sun god, yeah. And he basically, you know, Drona said, "You cannot here, they are princes, you cannot fight here." And then Duryodhana immediately thought, wait a second, he could be helpful for me, and said, "Okay, then I make you king of Anga." You know, and then he could basically show his skills. And everybody thought, wow, he is as good as Arjuna. And this was Arjuna, you know, and Karna would, you know, they would laugh. They had the best time in their life. If Arjuna would walk out, they would say, he's just afraid of Karna. So, you know, what's the point? So why he didn't leave to the, what is Krishna's point to say, beside they would think you a coward, why it's not practical to just take sannyas?
Yeah, Krishna says one should follow one's own dharma, swadharma.
What is connected? Yes, what is connected with his dharma?
Else's dharma, like Ramanda.
Yes, but yes, what is connected with dharma? Sounds almost similar. It sounds also similar, but it could be karma. Because the activities, what you do, meaning the activities, what you are given, and they are God-given activities. What defines your varna, defines your karma, what you do, and this becomes your dharma. So, Arjuna, you go to the forest, you're sitting there meditating, Om. You see a lion comes, want to kill a deer. Naturally, as a protector, as a kshatriya, because Jai Shri Shri Parat Lakshmi Shingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. Naturally, because I designed you like that. Naturally, as a kshatriya, as a protector, you see this deer and you want to save that deer by killing the lion or the tiger, whatever comes. So is that sannyas? No, you do activity. Because that's your nature, that's your dharma. And this defines your karma and varna. So therefore, use your senses, but connect them with the sense objects, but with purpose. And the whole chapter, the whole section here, Krishna basically explains to him yakya. Yakya is you give, you do activities, you giving, but you never want it. You never want the result. And therefore he says the miserly, immediately they become attached to their results. Meaning, if somebody now comes, we come to my most famous comparison. Yeah. If you work for Knaus, this is our caravan, how do you say? Caravan factory there in the beginning. If you work for Knaus, right? You work there, beside you getting some money, but you're building all these fancy, wonderful caravans. In one point, you may think, what? I also want to have one. You know, they're making plans, big, elaborate plans, you know, to one night maybe the door can be not locked, and then I come in the night, and then I steal a caravan or something like that. So your whole existence comes a meditation of how I can get on the result of my karma, of my activity, right? And in this way, you're losing all higher purpose that you work for Mr. Knaus. Huh? But your whole life is only based on how can I get hands on the results of my activity. And karma yoga basically means you don't ever meditate on the result. You be completely detached because your purpose is karma. And yoga is the connection with the higher purpose. So you do activity for higher purpose. As they say in the Bible, we are gardeners. We're in the gardening of the Lord. And we are supposed to handle this garden, to trim the flowers, to trim the bushes, and to cultivate the garden. But we're not allowed to take the fruits. Same thing. We are here to serve. Humans, especially humans, are servants. All souls are servants, but especially as humans, we are here to serve. To serve not only humanity, we serve the whole planet. That's our dharma as humans. Therefore, we put in different varnas, because if we would function like that, we would be a very, very good tool in the Lord's creation. Therefore, He made us, because humans can do so many things, and you know, they could be so wonderful if they would not have been given free will. But the free will is very important, because only with free will we can express love. So this is the whole story in the 3rd chapter. Work, do yakya, do it, but don't be attached to the result. In the moment you get attached to the result, is not karma yoga. It's karma boga or something, right? And this is from this point on, when we see the fruits of our activity and we get attached, we are lost. Because as he says here, the envy, then we develop envy, because who will get it? Who will get all these caravans? What I produce. I produce them. Now some fat billionaire comes and takes them and drives off with it. And then you walk through some city, and then you see a Knaus caravan. And the only thing is, I made it, and somebody else enjoys it. And you take out the knife and push all the tires flat. That's my revenge. But that's exactly our state of consciousness where we're in. We're getting envious of those who enjoy our fruits, what we think they are our fruits that belong to us, and we become envious of those who take these results. And that could be anybody. Not, anybody, I mean anybody. Could be animals, could be mice. This is, could be anything. Foreigners, different religions, whatever. We work for that. We built up this country, and now they come and take it apart. I'm not making a political statement here, but this is how the mind, what is the chief of all senses, says, they belong to us senses, says the mind. So let's protect them with our senses. So at the moment we have this mentality, we are lost, and we are on the downward spiral. Yes, that's more or less what could be squeezed out of my brain at this moment. As I always say, I'm not master of this science myself. Therefore, I'm here to learn from you, with you, amongst you, Rosie. And let's pray for each other, that we stay strong as a community, learn from each other, and serve with each other, and apply this actually very simple principles. Because, that's maybe one final point. Because in the moment we develop envy, what else do we develop? When we become envious, what else do we develop together with envy? Anger and greed, depression. It's very, very depressing. We degrade ourselves so much. But in that moment, we let go, we get loose. And this is a point. The devotee is not an atheist, and the devotee sees everything what comes from Krishna. Everything what I get is a lesson from Krishna. And I accept it. If it's good or if it's bad, it's a lesson from Krishna. He teaches me. And I'm grateful for that. And in this moment, when I have this mentality, my envy does not opens in my heart. And then even if I suffer in the greatest difficulties, when I accept it as the teachings of my Lord, what happens to me? And then? I become happy. Right? Even if I suffer, then when I see behind everything my Lord, then I become happy. And that's sometimes the most difficult thing. Because immediately something happened to us. Immediately, watch your mind. I watch mine. Immediately we look for the one who's guilty. Happens like instantly. Instantly. We never, it's not our first thought that thought, oh, that's the Lord's mercy. No, somebody has to be in fault here. And somebody has to be blamed. So I walk up and blame somebody. No, nowadays social media is so, is so easy. Somebody gets sick, oh, it's because of the rats, whatever. So it's immediately we try to find somebody to blame, put him on the pranger, how you say, on the, huh? Yeah, some English word, put him up there and show to everybody. It's not me, it was his fault. Look at him, like in front of me. Yeah, he's the one. Huh? So that's very important to understand, to contemplate in all circumstances, to see, okay, actually, it's the mercy of the Lord. And when we really, not just saying, not just saying it, and finally think somebody else's fault, but as a devotee, I'm supposed to say this. That's the mercy of the Lord. I get purified. Haribol. No, if we really feel it, that means we are Krishna conscious. And then we are happy. We become happy. But in the moment, we still try to put somebody else in front. Means, first of all, we are cowards. We don't take responsibility. And we don't believe that Krishna is in control. That means, to that degree, we are atheists. Haribol. Simple as that. So help me that I can become a devotee in one point and don't be atheist anymore. Hi Krishna. Are there any further comments, questions or chastisement? Pure. You mean,
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much. I have a comment, if I may.
You may. Sorry. I had a cough, I may.
Okay. Very interesting point that you just mentioned, just in the end. And I had a conversation with Atula Krishna Prabhu from Hungary about this. And he said something very inspiring. It's just a short message. And I translated it into German from Hungary. But I would like to read it. Der Herr bringt seine Geweihten nicht selten in verzweifelte Situationen, deren pikanter Beigeschmack darin besteht, dass es nicht immer leicht ist zu erkennen, dass seine Hand dahinter steckt. Dies erfordert eine ausgefeilte Intelligenz und eine hingebungsvolle Geisteshaltung. Es erfordert auch die Menschen, die in seinem Szenario eingesetzt werden, als seine Werkzeuge zu sehen und nicht als die Beherrscher der Situation.
Very good.
I think that fits to the point you made.
You can translate for Prabhu Chetan later on.
You can also do now because I think...
Oh, you had a question or why you raised your hand?
Yeah, I wanted to add something before what he said.
Oh, you understood him?
No, but what you said and what he said. That's how.
Okay, Ed.
Yeah,
Give him the microphone.
I just heard a lecture for Radhana Swami, and he said, "Don't blame other on for you karmic reaction."
For you?
Karmic reaction.
Karmic
Reaction. Yes. So it was related to this.
Yeah.
And when I remember this, it helps. If someone, aggress you or tell you something and you overreact, then actually it's your fault.
Yeah, but it happened to me. It happens all the time. Something happens. Oh, it's because this person. Oh, here that our mind is so trained in fault finding or the faulty person to find.
Hare Krishna. Auf Deutsch oder auf Englisch? Was soll ich fragen?
Keine Ahnung. Jeder, der eine Frage gestellt hat, darf gehen. Seems- ja. Hare Krishna.
Is it that no, ich versuche mal auf Deutsch, ja. Kann ich diese Vergleiche mit dem, du schaust sehr lustig aus so.
Was?
Du schaust sehr lustig aus so gerade, wie du geschaut hast.
Sorry, das ist mein Gesicht.
Auf jeden Fall, gute Pose. Diese Vergleiche, so Vergleich mit Knaus und also die beziehen sich auf einen gesunden Menschenverstand meistens. Also die ergeben sich einfach so. Und ich wollte fragen, ist das im Krishna-Bewusstsein eigentlich immer so? Also dass das eigentlich so wie Krishna sich verhält, so wie das Krishna-Bewusstsein ist, dass das in gewisser Weise auch in der spirituellen Welt immer dem gesunden Menschenverstand irgendwie folgt? Oder gibt es da ja.
Müsste man den... okay, we translate it quickly in English. Is it common sense? Is common sense a part of the spiritual world? Can we say it like that?
Does it apply always?
Does it always apply?
Krishna consciousness and spiritual world.
Well, I mean, common sense is, of course, where your common sense is trained in, and there is different facets of common sense. For a plumber and Klempner, is common sense to not turn on the water till you really screwed all things together. That's common sense, but it's not a spiritual principle. But you can translate it into a spiritual principle before you I don't know, before you cook something for Krishna, get your ingredients, so it doesn't make sense, for example, like that. If you want to make a garland for Krishna, first you have to get the flowers. So common sense is something what is common, in a sense what is implied in you, in your inherent, in your mind, or even in your spiritual consciousness. I don't know.
So is it is the common sense part of the material nature or of the spiritual nature, would you say?
I think common sense is implied in the sense of the soul. The soul, we as a soul being, we have a sense what is right and is wrong. It's like conscience.
I don't know what conscience is. Was ist das?
Wie kann man den Conscience jetzt übersetzen? Gewissen. Gewissen. Du hast ein Gewissen. One has a conscience. And this conscience forbid you certain things to do. Right? Where does it come from? It's not even, it goes even that far that you maybe find this in spiritual books like the Bhagavad Gita and the Bible, but you knew this even before. It's conscience not to kill. Although, it says in the books, but actually every person knows that you should not hurt somebody else. So I think the root of common sense is in the spiritual body, in the soul. And of course, if it's in contact with matter, then on one point you are the plumber and you should not turn on the, it's, I don't know, that's all what I think of this now. Good. Okay. So, yes.
English, yeah. So I understand it in this way that envy means, Krishna speaks of envy, no? Should not be envy. Envy in this regard means I don't want to do it for the Lord, I want to do it for myself. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do it for Krishna. I want to do it for me.
Krishna says that the three gates of hell, lust, anger, and greed, right? And they are very much connected. because it's always the saying is one thing what my Bhakta leader told me, and it made so much sense. I never thought of this before. Love is to make, under all circumstances, somebody else happy. And lust is, under all circumstances, make yourself happy. And envy is very, very close to lust, because I don't know even where draw the line between them. You become envy, and then in the same time you become lusty, whatever it is. Huh? It's a result. Yeah. Yeah. And this it's very deep in us, because even as devotees sometimes we see this. Of course, it's not on a cross level, but if I have a hard time, I have a bad day or whatever, everybody else should know it. I want to make everybody else's day also miserable, because my day is miserable. And in one sense, it's also it's understandable, kind of why I thought, some days ago after the festival, I was so finished. I was finished with everything, and I could not even smile, about jokes, not even about my own jokes or whatever, And sorry, it's something what Krishna want to tell me about it, and I should take care about this. But in the same time, you have to function in a community, what to speak in a family, and you kind of have to find the balance to don't let it out, even on a small way, on others, not giving them attention or whatever, and the closest thing what we can do is, sorry, Prabhu or Mataji, I really have a bad day. I don't think it's good that you speak to me, that we have a conversation right now, because I have to fix myself. In this way, you explain to the other side, it's not your fault. It's the problem is in me, but I'm not there yet that I dealt with it. That I worked through it. So I can't be more than I am now. Sorry, that was just a side thought. Okay. Thank you. I wish you good Gaur Arti and then a blissful sleep till you wake up tomorrow again to celebrate Shri Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Shingadev, Srila Prabhupada, and the devotees. Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada, Ki Jai.